Now, on the outside, it's a little bit longer and a little bit wider than the car that it replaces. However, some clever design trickery means your eye is drawn in at the front and it hides its size. Also, there are a couple of firsts right in front of you. For the first time, the grille is illuminated, but so it's not too blingy. The front struts of the grille, they're all chrome, but behind is matte, so it's not too in your face. Also, this is the first time the Spirit of Ecstasy sits out on her own in the bodywork itself. She's not separated away on a different plinth. It's all very, very clever and very, very smart. You'll also notice that from the A-pillars backwards, there aren't any shut lines. This is done with lots and lots of welding. In fact, 1.2 meters of the stuff per side. This has to be done simultaneously, which means when it's being done, there's a chap on the left and a chap on the right welding away, while there's also, per man, another man there to make sure things don't get too hot. If you take a look at the rear, you'll see the bodywork is kind of scooped in, again, hiding the car's dimensions and giving it a really, really fancy Rolls-Royce. The exterior is beautiful, but the interior of the most technologically advanced Rolls-Royce to date is pretty special too. Before we get to the technology that's packed inside the new Ghost, let's talk a little bit about the aesthetics, about the design. The wood in here looks and feels like wood. It's not hidden under layers and layers of lacquer, and it really lifts the interior. Also, the leather, well, that's taken from cows who have been nowhere near any barbed wire or anything like that. But if you take a look at the door panel here, this is a single piece of cow, judging by it, about a cow's leg, because they get quite big out there. Everything else in here is just sumptuous. It smells beautiful. Everything is wonderful to touch, wonderful to feel. The experience of being inside a Rolls-Royce is not lost on the new Ghost. Now though, let's talk tech. There is some aesthetic tech. So in the roof, we have our Starry Night spec, which you can have your own constellation verified by a local observatory, so you know exactly what you're looking at. You know, if you want the old feel of home wherever you go. Alternatively, you can have pretty much anything you want designed into the roof. The infotainment is taken care of by a touchscreen. As this being a Rolls-Royce, it will give you pretty much every bit of information you could possibly want in the universe ever. Also, a neat touch in here, the instrument dials, while the silver rings are real, the information displayed on them is virtual. All very impressive. This being a Rolls-Royce, you want the ride to be smooth and whisper quiet. As such, there is sound deadening pretty much everywhere there can be sound deadening in here, so you don't get interference from the outside world. That is, apart from in the sills down here. That acts as a sort of big echo chamber type thing that amplifies your music, essentially making this a very, very expensive, very, very loud hi-fi. I can dig that. On the ride front, your dampers have dampers, so you can damp while you damp, and then everything is super smooth. After all, it is a Rolls-Royce. You don't want to spill your champagne. In fact, you can drive this down Belgian pave with a glass of champagne on the nose and it won't fall over. That's cool and ridiculous, but I love it. Rolls has included a neat little party piece on this. Now, as you know, opening doors is the job of other people so that you can then go through them undisturbed and without having to use any of your precious hard-earned upper body strength. The new Rolls-Royce Ghost then, the exterior is a sight to behold. It is beautiful and, well, just look at it, I love it. The interior is full of some delicious technology. I especially like the shooting stars in the roof. But what about what's under the hood? Well, under there is Rolls-Royce's 6.75 litre twin turbocharged V12, kicking out 563 brake horsepower and 627 pound-foot. Good, Rolls-Royce says, for 0 to 62 in less than 5 seconds and on to a limited top speed of 155 miles an hour. If you want one, prices start north of £200,000 and first deliveries are pegged for the end of this year. As for what it's like to drive, you'll find out here pretty soon.